pledge. Ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Well, we just ask you to give us the wisdom and the knowledge as we conduct business for the city of Newman and its residents of this great city. And we ask that you just continue to watch over those who are sick and not feeling well and under the weather. And if you haven't told your neighbor, your friend, family members lately how much you love them, be sure to do that, because you never know when that day is going to come. You're not going to be alone with us anymore. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Councilmember Davis,
Present.
Hutchins, Candia,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Martina,
Present.
Mayor King.
Present. Item 5, declaration of conflicts of interest. Seeing none, go to item 6, ceremonial matters. This evening. Item 7, items from the public, non-agenda items. A member of the public wishes to address council, now is the time. Item 8, consent calendar. A is waive all readings of ordinances and resolutions set by title. B, approval of the warrants. C, approval of minutes of the June 26, 2012 regular meeting.
Make a motion, we,
Okay, go
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, make a motion, we approve the consent calendar as is.
I second that motion.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry. You're welcome. 9, public hearings. A, adopt resolution number 2012, next to number, a resolution declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 95-4. Chief.
Evening, Mayor, council members. Before you tonight is another abatement. This one's a little bit different than most of our weed abatements. This is the one residence that was destroyed by fire. Letters were sent out to the bank, which is Greenpoint Mortgage, and we have not heard back from them, giving them the opportunity to stop the process. We anticipated that most properties they will, clean up and stuff. There's been nothing done to this. It is a safety hazard, and there's no fence around it. Structure is ready to fall down. So for a public safety and a citizen safety, we need to take action on this house promptly. So we'll give it back to council for possible action.
Any questions of the chief real quick? Chief, I guess real quick, we have any idea what the cost associated with this to demolish it is?
I do not. I will. I've placed a phone call to a company out of Modesto Sand and Gravel today, and they're going to come meet with me tomorrow to look at it, and we'll try to get a cost. But as always, we'll put a lien on the property. This one could be a little bit different. It could take years of investments before we see any of our money back. So
Sure.
but the alternative is to leave it how it is, and somebody end up getting hurt. There's still people going onto the property into the garage, which is off to the right there, that is still staying there. So we need to clear this property out.
Okay.
Chief, is it possible that we could knock it completely down?
That's what we're planning to do. Knock it down and fill in the basement. That's what the proposal is.
Great. I'll open the public hearing. I'll close public hearing. Bring it back to council for direction.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution number 2012, next number, a resolution declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 95-4, excuse me.
I second that motion.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item B is adopt resolution number 2012, next to number, a resolution confirming the assessment and ordering of the levy for the lighting and landscape maintenance district for fiscal year 2012-2013. Garner.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members. Item 4 tonight, as you said, is to consider adopting a resolution confirming the assessments and ordering for the levy for the lighting and landscape maintenance district for fiscal year 2012-2013. In accordance with the Lighting and Landscape Act 1972, on May 8th, 2012, City Council adopted a resolution initiating the proceedings for the levy and collection of said assessments. On June 12, 2012, City Council adopted 2 resolutions, one resolution approving the annual report, another one establishing the intention for the City Council to conduct a public hearing concerning the levy and collection of the assessments for fiscal year 2012-2013. One point of clarification I'd like to make: on the previous council meeting that we considered this item, the annual report, on June 12, 2012, in the staff report under the option, it gave an assessment of what the maximum assessment would have been based on that option, the average, and the low. On the low assessment, it showed 87 cents annually, and that was incorrect. The reason that is incorrect was there was 42 units, building units within that subdivision, and they were counting the storm drain basin as a building unit. So they had to take that out, and it's actually 41 units. So they took the total cost and spread that out over 41 units. They took that low assessment, and it went to an annual assessment of $4.66. So the high assessment was $117 that it was going up per year, and the low assessment was $4.66 per year. Just want to make council aware of that there was a typo in the staff report on that one. With that said, we're here tonight for the last step in the process for City Council to consider conducting a public hearing concerning the levy of the assessments and confirming the assessments for the levying of the district. Therefore, staff's recommendation is City Council adopt a resolution confirming the assessments and ordering the levy for the lighting and landscape maintenance district for fiscal year 2012-2013. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions of Garner? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing. Anybody wish to address the council? Public hearing is now closed. Bring back to council for direction.
I so move that we adopt a resolution confirming the assessment and ordering the levy for the lighting and landscaping maintenance district for fiscal year 2012-2013.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Garner. Okay, we'll go to item 10, regular business. A's, report on the 2012 Newman Fall Festival. Lieutenant Short.
We're zipping right along. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Fall Festival's right around the corner again. We're inside the 60 days till Fall Festival. Working with the committee. They're about in the intermediate stage of planning. They're getting things together. Routine street closures for this event are the same as they have been in previous years. But the Fall Festival Committee has asked for a parade extension, which I'll outline here. That'll be on September the 2nd from 9 to 2. Main Street's usually closed from Mariposa to Merced, Main to P, P to Merced, Fresno, P to S. And it stops at the park. They want to continue on Fresno Street to S, S back to Mariposa in order to keep the congestion that happens right there at the park. Because as the parade starts to dismantle right there at the park, it just backs up all the way along Main Street. So they want to keep that going all the way around to hopefully make things work out a little smoother. Other events with possible impacts are the Bailey's Legacy Fun Run, which happened last year. That starts usually at 8:30. We're going to try to work with them to get a little bit earlier start time. Somewhere between 8:30 and 7 is what we're going to shoot for. They don't have an accurate number as to how many participants yet, and we'll base that on how large their participant pool is. The Wine and Cheese has moved from inside the theater to into the plaza. That's another event that's different this year. And also the Miss Newman contest has been moved from the park to Thursday night in the theater. So you won't see that in the park this year. The committee has secured their insurance that covers all their events. And requests of the committee are to waive the business license fees for vendors in the park. This is standard. Exclusive use of the park, waive the alcohol permit for the park, and authorize the use of the entire park as a beer garden. And the police department has been working with the Fall Festival Committee again. We always fully staff this event, and we will continue to do so. The only officers that will be paid for overtime on this event are our reserves and our school resource officer. And those should be invoiced to the Fall Festival as well. So I submit to you this for action.
Any questions
of me?
Questions of the Lieutenant?
Sure.
Did has the theater been informed of this Newman event in the theater Thursday?
I'm sure they have.
Okay. Check. I don't think they'll jump on me tomorrow about that. Thank you.
Any other questions of Lieutenant Short? Council direction?
I move that we adopt resolution 2010, next to number, a resolution awarding a contract for the city
Wait.
council.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I think we just need a council just to approve the report of the Fall Festival.
I'll make a motion we approve the report on the Fall Festival.
I'll second that report.
All right. Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Good luck.
I guess I shouldn't make one.
Item 10B,
adopt resolution number 2012, next to number resolution awarding a contract for the City Council Chambers Improvement Project. Garner.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. As you said, tonight before you is consider adopting a resolution awarding a contract for a council chambers improvement project to Acosta and Sons Incorporated. On July 29, 2011, City of Newman purchased the Oddfellows building located at 938 Fresno Street and commenced converting that to the new City Hall building. In order to prepare the building for the new council chambers, it's necessary to construct a dais on a raised 4-inch platform, construct a new wall with a door for the audiovisual room, and install carpeting. The city requested and received sealed formal bids. On June 28, 2012, the city received a total of 5 qualifying bids for this project. Included in your staff report is a tabulation of those bids. The lowest responsible bidder for this project has been determined to be Acosta and Sons Incorporated with a bid amount of $40,750. It is recommended to allow approximately about a 10% contingency for this project for any unknowns that may affect the project as we proceed through that. Therefore, the total amount requested for this project, including the contingency, is approximately $45,000. Therefore, staff recommends City Council adopt a resolution awarding the bid for the City Council Chambers Improvement Project to Acosta and Sons in the amount of $40,750 and authorizing up to 10% contingency for total project authorization of $45,000. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Any questions of Garner?
Hey, Gardner, just a question on this date, time received. It seems like they're all right just before 2. I mean, it's like, is that normal?
That's common. We set a bid time of 2 p.m. typically. That gives us a couple hours to review the bids, but they'll come in within the last 5, sometimes even the last minute before the bid, and we have a date and time stamp, and we let them know. We go by the clock in our office, and we stamp time every one of them and write it in to make sure that they meet that 2 o'clock deadline.
Yeah.
And that's pretty common. We've even had some of them show up a couple minutes late and contest it. Not this time, but I've seen that in the past.
I was going to say they're all within 10 minutes or so.
That's pretty common. They'll even stand in our office, with their bid in hand, watching the clock. And sometimes I think they do it to see how many actual bidders they'll have. And maybe they might pull another bid out or something, I don't know.
Well, could they possibly have 2 bids and then,
They only allowed to submit one, though.
I know,
But,
okay.
Yeah, they could have,
But they carry 2.
Yeah.
Wait and see if, they might be the only one standing in there, and then submit the highest bid.
that's not uncommon, and not unheard of, I should say.
It's right at the funding amount. It's always right
Oh,
there.
man.
Well, because it's interesting. I mean, I look at, a $12,000 difference between, the lowest bid next to the next lowest bid. There's $12,000 difference.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Right, and there is, and Acosta and Sons only has one sub, and that's a person doing the carpeting. They're doing everything in-house.
And what do we know about them?
They're the ones that constructed the finance counter.
Right.
So they did a good job for us. They came in on time and on budget with that project as well.
And we made Sacramento happy through this process.
We made Sacramento very happy. We followed the letter of the law to the T.
Good. So we don't expect no phone calls.
I'm
or letters
disappointed
from them?
that I don't
No,
want to
sir.
make Sacramento happy.
I do.
Well,
I don't.
the alternatives, if
A
they're
different
that,
part of Sacramento.
yeah, different part of Sacramento. Okay. Any other questions, Garner? Council direction?
I so move that we adopt resolution
Go ahead.
Resolution 2012, next number, awarding the City Council Chamber Improvement Project to Acosta and Sons, Inc.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Garner. Item C is adopt resolution number 2012. Next to number, a resolution awarding a contract for the City Council Chambers audio-visual system.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll take this one. This is the second piece of that puzzle as we move forward with the new city council chambers. As you see, the first project here was to build the dais and the platform. The next is the audio-video system over there. So, attached to your report is a copy of the RFP that did go out. There's a number of items that had to be submitted by our bidders. Unfortunately, we only received one bid from Final Cut Media Proposals, and they came in at $37,745.25. I want to caution you that's not the total cost of the project, because when you look at the RFP, there are still a number of items and parts that the city will provide. Total cost for the audio-video portion is going to be about $60,000. So you're going to have 60 for the audio video, and then you're going to have another 40 for the dais and the platform and the carpet and some additional things. So basically what you're going to have is each of you are going to have individual monitors. So you're not going to have to look at a screen in the back. You're going to have that screen in front of you, immediately in front of you now, probably on a 19-inch widescreen monitor. So it'll be easier for you to view the presentations and a lot of the other things. There'll be tie-ins. There'll be cat cables out there. We're designing the room so if we ever needed an EOC, Emergency Operations Center, that could potentially serve as the EOC and have a number of telephones that could be readily accessible through that building. We'll have 2 large screen TVs in there. That'll be for the audience to view. So it's going to be a very nice project. Also, our camera system that we have here will stay, and the recording system that we have here will stay. That recording system is, I believe, about 6 or 7 years old. So, you know, it's starting to age. The technology is starting to go on the lower end of it. Also, as you know, when you move electronics and they get bumped and you try to reset them up, they never really get set up the way they originally were. So we think it's more appropriate that we get a new TriCaster to go along with that, and we'll add additional cameras in there as well. So with that, we are recommending that tonight you award a bid to Final Cut as our for our audio visual systems project for the Newman City Council chamber.
Any other questions, Michael?
What do we know about Final Cut?
Final Cut, we've actually have had a lot of conversations with them. They've taken us on tours of some other projects that they've done. They've done Madera, Chowchilla, Escalon, Patterson. So they have a lot of experience dealing with this type of setup and creating systems from scratch. We are actually better off in some of these communities, Escalon and Patterson being the exception, but in Madera they had to come back in and retrofit for an existing system that was already in place. So we're comfortable. Final Cut, our technology people are comfortable with Final Cut. We think they're going to do an excellent job for us.
Cool.
Any idea why we only got one bidder, do you think?
I think we had 2 walk.
We had 2 walk. I think it's just a small project, and we tried to keep costs down by purchasing a lot of the equipment, which is probably where they would have made their markup.
Sure. Good. Any other questions? Council direction.
I'll make a motion we adopt resolution number 2012, next number, a resolution awarding a contract to Final Cut Media for the City Council Chambers audio visual system.
Motion, is there a second?
I second the motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 11, District 5, Supervisor Jim D. Martini.
Good evening, Mayor Caton, council members. I just have a few things tonight. First of all, I want to remind you again about the Health Summit here in Newman at the West Side Theater. I noticed you have it published on your agendas. August 23rd, will probably begin around 11:30 or so. The speaker this year is Dr. David Hilburn. He is the medical director of the Del Puerto Healthcare District. He's fairly new to the district. He's only been there a few months. And his topic is going to be the skinny on obesity, which I think is cute.
Right.
So, going to be the subject on obesity and the problems it can cause with diabetes, and a little bit about diet, and kind of an emphasis on sugary drinks is causing a lot of the problem, what I understand. So anyway, everything seems to be on track for that. We have letters have been out for the teams, which we hope we have a team from Newman again this year. And the vendor letters went out just a few days ago. These are health and fitness places and other ones that participated last year, and that we provide a space for them for free. So, and everything seems to be on track where it should be. So when that is done, on September 22nd, we have set the date for the strategic plan. We haven't done one in a few years, and now that we're right at the point of being a nonprofit, it's a matter of a couple of weeks, and we'll have that status. We feel it's time to refocus our efforts and look to the future on how to get grants and activities and projects that we can do on the west side to better the health and fitness of the area, or increase medical hours or equipment or specialists or what we can do. But anyway, our planning session will probably take about 3 hours on September 22nd. We don't have a location yet. We were going to have it in Patterson, but that was when the meeting was on the 15th. It's had to be moved back a week because of Keith Boggs, and so we don't have the location nailed down for sure, but I'll have one in a few days. As far as the Oristamba flood project, last time I was here, I told you we were going to have a meeting with the board. That hasn't happened yet. We've had it scheduled twice, and it's been moved back for various reasons, both scheduling or so. It is now set for July 23rd with the county and the Flood Control Board. And the last thing I have is the EDAC meeting. We were asking all the cities to update their information for the SEDS document, the EDAC document. We have to get this updated with the latest statistics, which is not that much of a change for most cities, and we have to recertify the SEDS document so that projects can be applied for. So if you haven't done that, we'd appreciate you just updating whatever demographic information that you have. And if you have a project in the works, that'd be a good time to submit it to. If you don't, at least the demographic information is what we have to have to certify the document. Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
Item from City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe it was around June 29th of this year, 30th of this year, we had a technology failure. Actually, it wasn't a technology failure, it was an operator failure. And we lost basically 10 years worth of contacts, all of our calendars, and 2.5 years worth of emails. I did receive good news today that we're going to be able to restore that back to about April 1st of this year. So we're going to lose approximately 90 days worth of emails, and we'll be getting our contacts and our calendars back. So I think it's two things that we're learning here. With technology comes, you need to create redundancies. You need to be able to, backing yourself up. And again, there was operator error on that. So we'll be working with our third-party vendor on deciding, figuring out what actually went wrong and how that's going to, we're going to be protected in the future, and then we're going to come back to you with the final report on that. So all this is still new. We basically try to send stuff out to Marin County this week to try to recover a lot of that. Of course, it was at our operator's expense, not ours. And again, we were able to recover all but probably the last 90 days. So we'll continue to keep you informed. Probably on our next meeting on the 24th, we'll have a lot more information.
Michael, I think it's important to point out, though, it wasn't one of our employees.
It was not our employee. It was our third party. It was our IT consultant who is specifically paid for this. So anyway, internally we need to talk as staff and management to figure out and understand what happened, why it happened, and then evaluate our third party provider and seeing if that's still the vendor we can work with and trust, because there's a lot of information over there. If this would have been our financial systems and our financial server, it's a big thing. So, but I got to remember, technology goes. We have a very diverse technological needs, and with more of what we're doing now with the installation of cameras, we have software for financial stuff. We have we store all of our videos on there. We have Exchange server, which is our emails and our contacts and our calendars. And, we have remote access to sites and all that. So it just becomes more and more challenging to manage all of that. And the wild card is your public safety component as well, because, you know, our police department lost their subpoena calendar, and, you know, there were a lot court calendars, and those are important facets of our operation. And then unfortunately we didn't, you know, lose contact with our county CAD system or anything like that. It was really just maintained to our email server, and it didn't get into the other things. But, you know, those are important things that we check on, because, you know, obviously we don't want our, you know, our public safety software to go down. We can't lose contact with our county CAD system and 911 services and those types of things. So we'll be spending the next probably 60 or 90 days evaluating where we're at, what happened, and how we're going to move forward, and then come back to you with a plan. So, are there any questions on what actually?
Questions, Michael?
Yes, I have a question. Is the third party going to provide any financial help to offset this?
That is something we're going to talk about internally to see what our costs are right at this point in time. Again, because this is so new, I don't, as a team, management team, we haven't sat down to try to figure out everything that needs to come back and be rebuilt. And part of that is because we're only getting answers today. You know, this has been down for about a week. It happened a week ago. It came back up. But we haven't had answers about how much we had totally lost until today. So now that we know the extent of the damage, we as a management team can come together and start talking about what it's going to take to recreate what we lost. Can it be recreated? And then formulate a plan of attack. So, you know, we require, you know, the third-party vendors like this to have errors and omissions insurance and other things that go along with that. So and then we'll also have to have some discussions with our legal counsel about where we stand legally and what we can get. So but that's something that we're going to continue to evaluate internally and figure out, again, how much work is going to be required, how much did we actually lose. We don't have a firm grasp on how much we lost yet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Tonight, I want to thank you for, you know, we approved 2 contracts for the city council chamber, the new chamber that's going to take place. The piece that we didn't talk about in here, but you may have noticed it, I think, on the RFP for the audio-visual system, was these projects need to be completed by August 31st. So, because the whole goal is to have you back in there in September. As Councilmember Davis was asking earlier, you know, we are scheduled to have a chamber mixer in there in September. So that's our whole goal, is to get that operational, host that. In the meantime, though, Ms. Ocasio was able to work with our historic society. We've put together some really nice pictures in our halls now. So if you get a chance to go by there, and they're stunning pictures. I mean, big, beautiful. Some of them, they weave multiple pictures together to get a bigger scene, and it's really nice. The City Hall is really coming along, and nice charm. They're nice, professionally framed, professionally hung, with locks, so people can't walk off with them, and there's a lot of different things that go on them there. So,
can we sell copies to people?
We don't. But yeah, we want them to come back and visit and see them when they need to. So with that, I can answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions of Mike? Okay, thank you. Staff, Stephanie, anything?
I do have something.
Jump on up.
Good evening. I have good news. I wanted to share that the city received the state's Hrp Grant that we applied for a few months ago in the amount of $144,825, approximately $8,000 more than what we were hoping for. Once we receive the standard agreement from the state and get all of our paperwork in order, we'll be able to start working on the skate park, Amy Park, and the dog park. So we're really excited that we got the grant and look forward to using that money and making our town a little nicer.
Great.
Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Chief, anything else?
Good evening again. Unfortunately, I don't have such good news. On July 8th, about 11 p.m., Merced Sheriff's Department called for a mutual aid backup at the bullfighting ring just outside of Newman. While responding, one of our officers was involved in a solo vehicle traffic collision. He is okay. The car he was driving is not so okay. So we have one patrol car offline at this time, which is our 2009 Dodge Charger. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that.
The main thing, the officer is okay.
Officer is okay. No time off work, so that was the good part of it.
Good.
Is this patrol car repairable, or is it?
I would imagine, I'm not a mechanic or anything, but just by looking at it, I would say it's repairable. I don't think it's total. It's just some little bit of front end damage. Clean some dirt out from underneath it. So.
What did he hit?
A canal, a drainage ditch. I don't know if it's a full blown canal, but an irrigation ditch. He made it over. So, just giving you guys an update. Any questions?
All right. Thanks, Chief.
That's true.
Garner?
Yeah, that's a tough act to follow. Unfortunately, we did not wreck a vehicle, but we do have. I have some information as well. You will be experiencing some low water pressures if you haven't already noticed. One of our wells is out of service with the heat. We had an issue with one of the wells, our big well over off Barrington Park, our biggest producer. We lost the electrical component that controls the well and tells it how much water to pump out of the ground. It blew the motherboard. When that happened, we lost the power. Generator kicks on, blew the water pump. So we're experiencing some pains with that, so I just want everybody to know that we are experiencing some low water pressures. We're trying to keep the pressures above 40 psi. We're maintaining that as we speak. We hope to have the well back in service and online by Thursday at the latest. So you can bear with us. We are shutting down the parks at periods of time. You may see the parks being stressed a little bit to help us conserve water and have the water for our residents, which we figure is more important. Some good news. We did receive notice from the state that we did receive a Safe Routes to School grant to put improvements on Hoyer Road out to the school that has the gap of improvements between it there for $175,000. We'll be pursuing that and getting that designed and improved over the next year or two. So we're very excited about that.
Great.
Anything else?
Questions,
Any
Garner?
I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lou? Nothing? All right. Council members. Councilmember Davis?
I don't have anything tonight.
Nothing tonight.
Bob?
Michael, question. We've got some eyesores in Newman. I was wondering, I'd say, can we create a hit list and maybe review them? You know, I don't know if we have budgets to take care of. It's like patches. That has been forever, and it's such an eyesore. Even the plastic little fence they have going around. If just had a new one, it would probably look a lot better.
We just sent them probably a letter maybe 2 weeks ago to the property owners on that one. Tom, we actually had that come from the city attorney with that particular project. So, but we're more than willing to sit down with you if or any council member that may have a list of projects that you want us to look into and see if they're really creating some blighted conditions.
Wouldn't removing that orange tape, whatever, wouldn't that improve the look of it?
It may, yes.
A little.
Yeah. And the other one that comes to mind right now, there's a lot of them, but the Moose's Lodge, that particular lot, it seems to develop a lot of weeds, and I don't think it's taken care of. And we have such a beautiful plaza, and then I see that little thing over there, I'm saying, wish we could buy it, Michael.
We've attempted to in the past. It's just, maybe we can reapproach that. The pricing before was much higher than its value.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She wanted an arm leg for it.
Yeah.
So I think.
Well, if we wait, it'll come down.
We think so.
Anyway.
But we'll make contact again and express an interest.
Okay.
But if nothing else, just because of its, I know you can't really discriminate, but because of its location right on our highway and it is adjacent to our plaza, at least make her keep the weeds down. And
Sure.
So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And I don't have anything to add. We are adjourned.
Good job.